What is going on, fellas? It's your boy On The Money MMA back with a reaction to the recent UFC 315 and its amazing results. I want to start this video by saying just how right I was with my prediction about this fight. Jack had the better boxing, the superior takedown defense. His pressure matched up with Belal Muhammad perfectly. But regardless of whether I picked him or not, Jack's performance was incredible. He literally did everything exactly how he was supposed to in this fight. And this is a fight where I don't even think his striking looked that incredible, like to the scale of other fights, like the Angelusa fight, or even at moments in the Gilbert Burns fight. He wasn't even going to the body as much, and he still completely outclassed Belal Muhammad in pretty much every aspect of the game. He got up when Belal shot his takedowns. He put the pressure on when he needed to, and just a completely masterful performance by Jack Della Maddalena. Jack had me singing, "I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain?" My goodness. My freaking goodness. We needed this, dude. We needed this. And I'm not even that upset about the Ilia Topuria, Charles Oliveira, Makhachev situation because I like JDM Makhachev just as much as I liked Ilia Makhachev. And I think JDM can beat him. I think he has more of a chance than Ilia does to beat him. And all that discussion and discourse about that topic just made me so much more interested about the rest of the matchups in the welterweight division. Matchups that have already been made like Usman Buckley, or matchups that are yet to be made like Rakhmonov Brady and Buckley Gary, and how they all match up against Jack Della Maddalena respectively, including Islam Makhachev. So that is what I'm going to discuss in this video today. Starting off with what I believe to be by far the most anticipated of these matchups, Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena for the welterweight title, most likely taking place in UFC 321 in Perth. I think there will be people going two ways on this matchup. One being the immediate dismissal of Jack Della Maddalena just due to Islam Makhachev's resume and what he's accomplished inside the sport. And I think there will also be people being a little bit reactionary and instantly saying that Jack Della Maddalena is going to win this matchup just because of his performance against Belal Muhammad. And I think there's merit to both of those possibilities, but honestly, at this point, I may lean towards Jack Della Maddalena. He looked lights out against Belal Muhammad. He looked like grappling couldn't affect him in that fight, and I understand Belal Muhammad's far less of a finisher than Islam Makhachev is, but you got to take into consideration the Dustin Poirier fight. Dustin Poirier is at this point in his career, he's an older, less muscular, weaker, slower, less athletic version of Jack Della Maddalena, who is a guy who knows how to keep his cardio and his power going into a 5-round fight. Through the course of a 5-round fight, I mean. Especially considering that was a Dustin Poirier who took rounds off of Islam Makhachev and nearly went all 5 rounds with him. So my initial reaction would probably be a winning performance from Jack Della Maddalena just due to his knowledge in the striking. I think he could make Islam Makhachev miss. One thing is, Islam Makhachev, he does have, I think I would say considerably better defense than Belal Muhammad does on the feet. But I can see the same fate happening to Islam Makhachev as did to Belal. The pressure of Jack Della Maddalena, I think, would cause problems for Islam's implementation of grappling in this fight. I think that Jack could keep the pressure on him, hold the center of the ring, and honestly just make him miss and pop him. I think he could pop him, and admittedly, I don't think Islam Makhachev is taking the same level and number of shots that Belal did in that fight. I think Belal has a considerably better chin than Islam Makhachev does, especially against 170-pound power. But hey, you can call me a reactionary, you can tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, but I think there is some merit to the case of Jack Della Maddalena in this fight. I think Islam Makhachev hasn't looked as dominantly elite against his recent opponents. Obviously, Renato Moicano, short notice, but I mean, Moicano kind of just laid down and gave him a Darce choke, dude. So that is something you would never see Jack Della Maddalena doing. This dude's got the grit to win championships. Obviously, he just won a championship. So honestly, in this very moment, if you were speaking to me, I would probably pick Jack Della Maddalena to win this fight. by honestly TKO, man. TKO, like I said, I don't think Islam Makhachev has quite the durability that Belal Muhammad does. I think Jack would damage him a lot on the front foot, and I think Islam would struggle. Well, here's the thing: there's light man skill, and obviously Islam Makhachev is going to be as fast or faster as Jack Della Maddalena, but Jack is more of a savant in the striking than Islam Makhachev is. I think he's going to have the better knowledge of striking positions and things of that nature. So I would probably have to lean towards Jack Della Maddalena in this matchup at this current moment. I just think that Islam Makhachev definitely has more finishing potential, and he's a quicker striker than Belal Muhammad, but he's not the leaps and bounds ahead of Belal Muhammad I would need to see to consider him beating Jack Della Maddalena in this specific fight. So I would lean towards Jack Della Maddalena. Moving on to the next matchup, I'll try to stay in order of relevancy and speak about the already made matchup between Kamaru Usman and Joaquin Buckley for UFC Atlanta on July 14th or 21st or 7th. I am not completely sure at the moment, but my initial reaction to this fight, I think, would be a Joaquin Buckley win, just to the sense that I think Kamaru Usman has really damaged himself by taking this much of a layoff. Buckley seems to be the hungrier fighter in this fight by far, and I think that will work to his advantage just because of the nature of the fight, where the fight's going to take place. I think that Joaquin Buckley is going to have the physical advantage over a guy like Kamaru Usman, who stresses his physical advantage in all of his wins. It's one of his best attributes. It's why he's gotten to the top of the division, and I just think that Joaquin Buckley is surging, and he's going to exceed Kamaru Usman in that aspect of the game. I actually don't expect a finish in the fight. Quite the contrary, actually. I think this will go all 5 rounds. I think it will be highly contested, but I think Joaquin Buckley is going to win on, I would say, damage or maybe control time and ground and pound. I just think he's too much of a bowling ball at this point in his career, and Usman's only getting older. I could see maybe a prime Usman winning this fight, but Joaquin Buckley's looked extremely physical in all of his recent fights. I think he's gonna bob in and maybe catch Kamaru Usman a couple times, but my initial reaction would be a win for Joaquin Buckley, and I think that is the thing that has the most benefit for the division. I could see a Buckley winning this fight and getting to Belal Muhammad, or maybe a Kamaru Usman losing this fight and getting to Belal Muhammad, because I think that's a good matchup due to the beef and things of that nature. But I would pick Joaquin Buckley to win this fight just based on his physicality and Usman's lack thereof due to his age. I think that Kamaru Usman will be a little reminiscent of recent Colby Covington in this fight. I think they're at similar points in their career. I think Usman is going to take a big step off in this fight, and I'm sad because I like Usman, but I just don't see him winning this fight. I don't see the path to victory, so I would probably pick Joaquin Buckley by well, I said that I think it would go to decision, but I could see a ground and pound TKO, or probably just a decision, actually, just a 48-47 decision or something along those lines. So yeah, Joaquin Buckley is probably who I pick in this matchup. I want to take this time to speak more in depth about where I think Joaquin Buckley stands in the welterweight division as it is right now. I think Joaquin Buckley has gotten a little lucky with his matchups coming up. He obviously had the quitting Luque fight, he had the Wonder Boy fight, and he had the Covington fight, and Covington hasn't looked the same as he was in his prime. I think Buckley, I like matchups like Ian Gary for Buckley, just to the sheer physical advantage he holds over Joaquin Buckley. Over Ian Gary, pardon me. I think that is the most winnable matchup for Joaquin Buckley in the top of the welterweight division, just due to Ian's his skirting around the outside. I think Joaquin Buckley would be able to hop around and get past the defensive Ian Gary and knock him out cold, or take him down with his big bowling ball double leg and stack guard and TKO Ian Gary. And I honestly would take Joaquin Buckley to beat Ian Gary, and I think he is the fighter in the welterweight division that has the best chance of. Obviously, Shavkat already beat him, but I think Joaquin Buckley is the fighter who has the best chance of finishing Ian Gary, even more so than a guy like Jack Del Maddalena, just due to the intense physicality and speed and power of Joaquin Buckley, power in his hands and in his wrestling. So I think that is the best matchup for Joaquin Buckley in the welterweight division. On the same note, guys like Sean Brady, I think guys like Sean Brady would pose more of a threat than Ian Gary just due to the skill that they hold. I think Buckley's obviously very good, but I don't think he excels, at least skill-wise, in any one area. So I think guys who would be able to exploit that are guys like Bilal Muhammad or Sean Brady. Like I said, I think Sean Brady is a technician in the grappling. I think he could be able to take Joaquin down, even though Joaquin has proven to be someone who is really hard to control and someone who holds a lot of physicality and athleticism to get up from bottom positions. But I think I would choose him to beat guys like Ian Gary, and probably choose against him in fights like Bilal Muhammad or Sean Brady, just due to Joaquin's lack of excellence in areas of skill like grappling, and I wouldn't say he's a masterful striker. He's more of a physical striker. Like I've said, I've stressed his physicality this whole time. So Joaquin Buckley, he's definitely someone who's good in the welterweight division, but I ultimately don't see him beating guys like Jack Del Maddalena and Sean Brady and Bilal Muhammad, just due to his lack of elite skill in those areas. Even though I believe he's a very good fighter, I don't think he is someone that is going to be champion just due to his reliance on physicality and the ability for other guys in the division to outperform him based on their skill. So just to run down the list, I think I would pick him over a guy like Ian Gary, pick JDM to beat him. Honestly, I think I might pick him to beat a guy like Bilal, just due to Buckley's ability to evade grappling. But I think that overall Sean Brady has the more skillful, intense, controlling grappling of, if you were talking about him or Bilal. So I would probably pick, again, Ian Gary to lose to him, Jack to beat him, Bilal to lose to him, Sean Brady to beat him. I even would pick Buckley to beat a guy like Rachmanov, like Shavkat, just because of Shavkat's reliance on his physicality and his lack of he obviously didn't wow me in the Ian Gary fight, which I think Joaquin Buckley would wow me in an Ian Gary fight. So I would probably pick him over a guy like Shavkat Rachmanov. I'd pick him over a guy like Carlos Prates. I think I would pick a guy like maybe Makhachev to beat him, and I would pick, obviously I said JDM, so yeah, I think that's the lineup of guys I would pick to beat and lose to Joaquin Buckley. And I think he could become champion. It just depends who's champion at the time and what fights are happening and how the whole division plays out. So yeah, I think it's become excessively clear that Jack Del Maddalena was the more legit contender between him and Shavkat Rachmanov. And I think that I would clearly pick Jack Del Maddalena to win this fight, just due to, like Joaquin Buckley's lack of excellence in any area of skill. And I think it's less to the extent of Shavkat Rachmanov, just because I think Shavkat Rachmanov, he's a marauder. He's not an excessively good striker or an excessively good grappler. I think guys like Jack Del Maddalena and obviously Joaquin Buckley, like I said, would be able to get off of the fence. This guy's basically a clinch fence hugger at this point. So I think this guy loses to majority of the top welterweights. Honestly, I would pick against him in a Jack Del Maddalena fight. I'd pick against him in a hypothetical Sean Brady matchup. I'd pick against him in a Joaquin Buckley matchup, and I'd pick against him in an Islam Makhachev matchup. So Shavkat, he's dropped a lot of stock for me. I don't think he is nearly the prospect he was hyped up to be. I think he's going to get a rude awakening if he fights a guy like Sean Brady or Jack Della Maddalena, and I honestly think he has a better chance of beating Sean Brady than he does Jack Della Maddalena, just due to his life and death fight with Jeff Neal. I think basically at this point, Jack Della Maddalena is just a better version of Jeff Neal, a similarly powerful, higher output, better pressure version of Jeff Neal with considerable, with, how do I say it, with comparable grappling defense and takedown defense to Jeff Neal. So I think Jack would get the edge in this fight, and I think Shavkat would even lose to a guy like Bilal Muhammad, just due to Bilal's pressure and his strength as well. So yeah, I don't think Shavkat is. I don't think he's going to be in the top 3 of welterweight come very soon. I don't think he is. I don't think he is who he's hyped up to be just because he beat Ian Gary by decision and he choked out Wonderboy. I think Shavkat is going to be out of the welterweight top 3 very soon. So again, just to give a synopsis of all the matchups for Shavkat Rakhmonov in the welterweight division, I think that he would lose to a guy like Sean Brady, lose to a guy like Joaquin Buckley, lose to a guy like JDM, lose to a guy like Islam Makhachev. I think he would beat Ian Gary again. I think he could beat Kamaru Usman at this point. I think he would lose to a Bilal. I think that I honestly would have trouble picking between him and Carlos Prates, just due to Prates' takedown defense and his showing of his sniping ability, and honestly the lack of elite defense for Shavkat Rakhmonov. So yeah, that's my synopsis of all the matchups for Shavkat Rakhmonov at the top of the welterweight division. And in addition, there's no way this guy should be entitled to a title shot right now for choking out Wonderboy Thompson, beating Ian Gary by close decision on short notice. I think he should definitely have to fight a guy like Sean Brady. They should just make the Sean Brady Shavkat Rakhmonov fight, and I think Brady would beat him by decision. So yeah. I think the broad subject of this video is a testament to my belief that I think Jack Della Maddalena can be a reigning, long-standing champion over this division. He has the grappling defense, he has the power, he has the boxing pressure, he has the pressure, period. I think he wins most of these top matchups, and if he doesn't, it's just a matter of finishing potential, honestly, just a matter of whether he gets finished or not. And I think Jack is so gritty, so tough. I don't think he's going to be easily finished by anyone who is going to possibly contend for the welterweight title. So maybe it's a lame synopsis, or maybe it is not the result you were looking for, but I think Jack Della Maddalena is the best fighter in this division at the moment. I think he is the best chance of being this long reigning champion we're looking for, and I think that everybody else is honestly contending for second place at this point. I think Jack is just he's so good, man. I think in matchups like him versus Sean Brady is just a guy who is worse on the feet than Bilal. He obviously has the more oppressive ground control, as we saw in the Leon Edwards fight, than Bilal does. But I think Jack has the skill to not make that much of a factor for Sean Brady, and I think he would beat him up on the feet, honestly. I don't like when Sean Brady's rushing across the cage throwing these hooks. I think Jack counters them and puts him away. I think he's by far and away the most proven guy in this division. Yeah, at least to this point, and he earned that title from beating the most proven good guy in the division, Bilal Muhammad. So honestly, I think I might have lost a little direction in this video, but I think this is my overall synopsis of the state of the welterweight division and the affairs of the upcoming matchups. So yeah, like, subscribe, write something in the comments if you agree or disagree or have any comment whatsoever, and I appreciate any criticism or any interaction that you would like to share. So yeah, have a good day, and I appreciate you watching. And JDM schooled your boy. Go ahead and cope. Bilal is mid. And the rest of them are too. You know what I'm talking about and who I'm talking about.